Fan scripture on air.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to the Fan Scripture On Air podcast. Today, you got your boy Flash205 and Darth Proteus.
Hello everyone, and I think we have a very special topic today, something you might not have expected. Tell them what it is, Flash.
Well, we do have Garfield on FS Plus is what we're going to be the main topic of discussion today.
Yes, we haven't been talking about that lately, but I think it's very important because people who don't read the strip, they don't have the brilliant light, the radiant light of brilliance emanating from those amazing strips that we make. Not to get a big head, but there's just something so enthralling and enigmatic about the work of Jim Davis.
Oh, okay, you're getting a little crazy, Proteus. We gotta settle down a little bit because we still have to talk about 5.1 that was released. Yeah, I heard Spider was working hard on it. And how many pages did he add of the script?
I don't recall exactly, but I cannot say he didn't work hard on it because he told me that he worked for like 2 straight days on finishing some of it, possibly even the entire thing. Can't confirm, but if that's the case, good on him because I am very proud of him.
Man's been on the grind. What can we say? Okay, we also have Faux Threes.
Very happy with how I went out in that script. I'm kind of sad to see it go. I think a lot of people are, but at the same time, not everything can last forever, and it's been a fun ride going through it. I think it'll be one for the FS history books for sure. Good picture.
Good picture. And then we also have Justice League of America. Has there been a session since we last did an episode? Like a session of Justice League that went well?
Yes, there was at least one. I remember that quite well. One, maybe even 2. Admittedly, the days are still kind of blending together for me because of everything that's happened lately. So honestly, sometimes I just don't remember. And let's see. Anything else that we need to recap?
What about?
I know there's something. It's at the back of my head. Say again?
Plasma Man?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Not to toot my own horn, but I was, I think the debut episode went pretty well.
And I think that's about everything. All the active projects.
Yeah. So let's get back into what I was saying earlier. Maybe I did overstate it a little bit, so I'll tone myself down. I'm sorry. I get emotional when I'm reading.
Wait, Proteus.
Get emotional. Yeah.
Where could our guests be?
Now, where could our guests be? Chucky?
Mac?
Senna?
Yo, dogs! It's Mac, the milkman!
Hey!
No, Mac, the milkman.
Before we begin, just like last time, I feel the need to mention a certain someone.
Oh, right. Korg was supposed to be with us today because he is, of course, a vital part of our Garfield FS Plus team. And I feel for the guy. He's got a great voice. He'd have made a great addition to this, but shout out to him because he makes great strips too. And of course, Johnny T Tears, who he's not big on VC, so he wouldn't have wanted to be here anyways. But shout out to him because his strips are always pretty great too. How you doing, Senna?
Not too bad. How's everyone else doing?
Oh yeah, we're doing just fine. Glad we can come and talk about the great work of Mr. Jimothy Davis, one of the greatest scholars of our time.
Of course.
So let me ask you, Chucky, what made you want to do this on FS Plus? I mean, I'm not asking why you love Garfield, because who wouldn't love Garfield? But what made you think, this would make a great FS Plus thing if we just posted strips of Garfield for everyone to look at, laugh at, make their day better?
Well, so it all started when I discovered that video on YouTube of the pipe strip, and I was obsessed with it for like 2 months probably. I'd listen to it while doing homework, while trying to go to sleep. Genuinely, I'd listen to it multiple times a day, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then a couple months later, Johnny and Flash just offhand came up with an idea for a parody Garfield strip, and they made a parody strip in text. And then that made me think, That'd be really funny to do, like in just FS Plus, like a really different idea for a project of like a daily strip. And we hired some people, other people, had a lot of great auditions, in particular from Chef. Chef sent some really good ones, but it wasn't entirely what we were looking for. And we didn't want to go past 7 because there's 7 days of the week.
Yeah, mad respect there. And I guess that parody strip is kind of what became Meme Sunday, you know?
Yeah. We should talk about what Meme Sunday is.
Yes.
Well, it's a day of the week where you just post a strip that's a meme.
Yeah, rather than just editing them to put our own jokes in, or to put our own like actual like comic kind of jokes, because there's a certain humor to Garfield that you have to get just right. This is basically just us throwing references and the current FS memes into them, or whatever we like. You know, it depends
Just outside
on
of the Garfield humor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda
So
that.
when I didn't audition to be a part of the team. I remember I was just sitting here and I was talking to Garfield, I think, with Chucky, and then I got a DM and I was added to a group called Garfield FS. I was very confused because I was like, there's no Garfield project and there's never been one. And so
Not yet, anyway.
So they explained the idea to me, and I was initially hesitant because why would I want to tamper with the already masterful works of Jim Davis? It's sort of like it's like rewriting the Bible in a way. It's sort of a dangerous act to commit. So, but I soon got into it, and I was one of the original penned writers of the Garfield and FS, and it's kind of an honorific of a thing.
So Mac, you're the only one who's like legitimately a fan of Garfield. Like
We're
you.
all legitimately
We're all
fans.
fans of
Well,
Garfield.
I mean, like you're the one who has like all the collection books of like all the strips and stuff.
I do. I have I have most of. I haven't gotten the ones for the last few years, but I have all of the. They have bi-release since a couple. I think about 20 years ago. They did them before, but they have bi-releases of the books. So they have 2 books a year of the collection of the strips that are released throughout the year. I have over 50 of them.
Wait! You have 50 books?
Quite the collection.
Of the collection, yes.
Oh
There's been
my
a lot of.
god!
I
Oh, wow.
really like Garfield.
No, dedication.
What do you like about Garfield though? Like what's
It's
your
a very laid-back comic. Nothing really happens in the comic. I can just sit
It's
back.
it's not like Calvin and Hobbes where they constantly are doing wacky, hilarious things. They're just kind of at home bickering. It's just Garfield and John bickering like a married couple at home for some reason.
Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes is overrated trash.
Except for that one
Bruh.
except for that one comic, which I'm not gonna like describe it in detail. It just randomly popped up when we used the bot that we used to get Garfield strips to make into memes. That's like my server, but there's just one weird comic for some reason that implies that what's John's girlfriend's name again? I honestly forget.
Liz?
Liz, right?
Liz.
How did I forget that? There's a weird implication that like her and Garfield are like super friendly, and I'm like, whoa. What are you thinking, Jim Davis?
I have many Garfield collectibles. I have an original art piece drawn by Jim Davis. I have many framed. I'm not joking. I have framed strips that they sell on the Garfield website.
Oh wow!
Is the pipe strip one of them?
Yes.
I don't have pipe strip, sadly. I
Oh,
really
bruh.
want to get it, but they're really.
Do they sell all the strips?
You can type in the strip, and they'll print, and they'll like
Oh, okay.
frame it.
Yo,
And
Chucky's about to order like 5 pipe strips and hang them on the wall in every room of his house.
Well, they're very expensive. They're like $200-$300.
Oh
what?
god, that frame better be made of solid gold.
And so I think I have 3 of them. They're in the basement somewhere. But
Mac,
I really like
Quite the
Garfield.
price.
I have a question though. Like, couldn't you just print it off yourself and then get a picture frame and like just put it in there? Why would you spend so much money on that?
The quality must be very high
It's really,
to
they're very,
warrant the
they're very
price.
quality.
Yeah.
But Jim Davis himself signed them.
Okay, that explains why.
Oh,
Okay, I get it. I get it.
So the idea that Jim Davis actually touched this makes me very happy. His skin cells are on it.
His skin cells are on it. I mean, I guess
Or-
that's true.
What if he wore gloves when he was signing?
that's
up.
impossible.
Do you like Garfield? Like, what's your relation to Garfield?
I do like Garfield, actually. One thing I like about it is similar to what Max said. The humor of it's something very different. I remember as a kid, I used to read the newspaper with my father. I still do. But, I always I would flip to, more so then than I do now, but I'd flip to the funnies, as they would call it, which had all of the comics and stuff like that. And the Garfield comics are just something fun to look at. Again, there's just nothing really going on. You just get to see Garfield do whatever. And the humor is very mild, but it's just, it's not laugh out loud humor, it's just a smile. And I've always just, there's some charm to Garfield that nothing else really has. And as a kid, I also used to watch all the animated stuff, which weren't bad. I don't know how they hold up now, but that's my relationship with Garfield. I think it's enjoyable.
Oh yeah. Did you watch like that? There was like before the Garfield show on Cartoon Network. There was like a direct-to-DVD movie where like Garfield entered the real world.
Garfield gets real.
Yeah,
Bro.
Garfield is real, bro.
I thought there were older cartoons of it as well, because like I've seen like
Yeah,
gifs and like
there are
clips
some.
of older looking style animation.
There are tons
There
of animated things out there for Garfield.
Yeah, Garfield gets real, 2007.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was my childhood.
Good. That's Well, are you forgetting about the masterpiece of a sequel that eclipses in every way Garfield 2: A Tale of Two Kitties?
No, that's the live action movie.
That's the live action.
Oh,
Garfield.
right. You're talking about still a
Oh,
masterpiece, though.
bro,
Tell
dude.
me I'm wrong.
Wow,
Garfield,
bro.
A Tale of Two Kitties, 2006.
The one that I watched a lot, I don't know why. I think it's because I was at my grandfather's house a lot, and he'd only have a select amount of DVDs or even VHS. And the Garfield one was Garfield's Fun Fest. That was the direct-to-DVD one, and I think I watched it
Oh
about
yeah,
5 different
that
times.
was the sequel to
Garfield gets real. Garfield.
Yeah.
Garfield is Real.
2008.
Yeah, I never owned that one, but I saw it on Netflix. Like when Netflix like mailed DVDs, we got that one.
Oh,
I remember
gosh,
the
I remember that.
Instead of back when I was in elementary school, there was like a Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, like across the street at this shopping center. But we'd always go to Hollywood Video, not Blockbuster, because we were cool. And the first thing I ever got there was Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties. Yo, why?
More about the video. How much inspiration would you say you take from the video every time you make a strip, Chucky? Like, do you just put it on in the background every time, trying to find
I
inspiration for a
completely
strip?
watch it every single time before I make a strip, at least once, if
I don't
not
believe
twice. You don't believe that?
You watch it every time you make a new
I believe
strip.
that.
I mean, I do,
Thank
but
you,
like,
Senna.
I don't know if I want to believe it because I mean, how long is the video?
It's like an hour long.
Oh, exactly. I don't want. Why would you do that to yourself?
It's cathartic.
Oh.
I love the way he dresses in that video. That's a good outfit.
Yeah,
It really
That's
is.
That's the first thing I noticed when I
Every
watched
time I
that
see
video.
his outfit, I just look at my quarantine outfit of like cotton shorts and old t-shirts, be like, my outfit's kind of rough, but I'm still proud.
I'm wearing a
When I was
three-piece
19.
corduroy suit right now.
19 years old, I saw for the first time in my life, I saw a vision of clarity. I saw a YouTube video, a 1-hour YouTube video. Shoot, I can't remember what's after that. Oh yeah, the little as it changed, it changed me, changed who I am, made me who I am, enlightened me.
The sad thing is that channel, I think it's called like,
Lasagna
I don't remember,
Cat.
Orange Cat or something.
Lasagna Cat.
Lasagna Cat, they haven't uploaded since like 2016 that I recall.
Back to the Garfield movie. My thoughts on it are very particular. I very much enjoyed the Garfield movie, not from a Garfield fan standpoint, but from a Bill Murray fan standpoint.
Yeah.
I thought it was good fun.
It's a decent movie, but it takes a lot of liberties with the Garfield lore. The way that they portrayed Nermal as like a street cat, not a fan. I didn't like the way he sounded. I didn't like the way Arlene looked.
Dude, I forgot Normal was in that movie.
Yeah, Nermal.
So do I.
Nermal sounded kind of like a rascally little brother, and I hated it. They've never been able to get Nermal's voice right except for like the '80s cartoon Garfield and Friends.
I agree with that.
They always make him sound like a whiny kid, but I always think, but he's supposed to be the cutest cat. But, anyways, and I hated the way they got Arlene, and they like screwed up Squeak. I think they may have given a different name, but I can't remember exactly. But Squeak, they made it. They just did a lot of bad things with it.
But what do you like about it?
What I like about it, well, as a Bill Murray fan, it's very much it's basically Bill Murray if he was really small and orange. Like, imagine it.
Yeah.
He turned himself into an Oopa Loopa, Morty. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, so it's like basically like midget Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So I just take it as a standpoint of like midget Bill Murray the movie.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting take on that.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about concerning Garfield? Like anything
Oh, there's
big
so
about
much
it?
we could talk about.
But the thing is, I think Chucky isn't telling us the real story about how he thought of Garfield. I think what really happens is one day he was reading, he picked up that book of comics. He looked at the strip, and the pipe strip, it stood out to him. He thought about it often on that day, and he went.
Even as a kid, like I had a collection of Garfield strips when I was in elementary school, and I used to draw a lot. So my parents bought me a bunch of how to draw comics or whatever stuff, and they bought me this Garfield thing, and genuinely like one of the best strips in there was actually the pipe strip.
I mean,
That
it is
book
really
was
good.
I vividly remember the pipe
Yes,
strip.
and I think what happens was later that day he was out and about. He passed a mechanic working on something, and he said, "Now where could my pipe wrench be?" And he stopped on that street and said, "What did you say?" And he repeated himself, and he said, "Your orange cat took it." And then he chuckled and walked away while he just looked at him confused.
And this guy just said, "Now where could my pipe wrench be?" I had to break social distancing for that. I mean, you just have to.
Worth it.
And by the way, the book you're talking about is Garfield at Large.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I will look into it.
It's literally the first book.
Mac.
Yes.
What's your like out of all the real strips, like Jim Davis strips? What is the best in your opinion as an avid
Why
Garfield
would you have to
reader?
ask me that?
Oh god, I'm just asking questions, man.
This is a good question, but that's. You see, I can think of many, but when I think it off the top of my head, it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I think it's Splut Day. It's Splut Week. Splut Week.
Oh,
I don't even know how to spell what you're saying right now.
I put it in.
Oh. So
yes.
it's like a sound effect. Okay.
Here it is.
So Garfield gets a pie in his face?
He
Is
gets
that
a
what?
splut in his face.
Well, what's a split? Is it?
I mean,
what is
the
that
color of
meaning
it suggests that it is something very undesirable.
like
Foul.
mud.
It's a very foul food.
Oh, okay. That's a lot better than what I was hoping it wasn't.
And then he
Like-
says, "Oh no, yup,
It's Splut Week."
When looking at the calendar, and he's got a face full of something undesirable.
And this was a long. This was, in fact, an arc in the comic.
Split week?
Splut
An
Week
arc.
was an arc. And every time Garfield wanted to do something would come up.
All
Oh,
right.
so it came back. Dang. Talk about poetry.
Give me that.
It's like poetry.
Give me that fortune cookie. It says, "Beware of the splut," and then he gets a pie in the face, and it's a splut.
Did that fortune
Seems to
cookie
be a
know
different
that the
pie each
split-
time.
is that implying that John had someone throw the split at him since he gave him the fortune cookie, or does the fortune cookie know the future?
Well, it looks
Yeah,
like he took the
John
fortune
in the
cookie from
second
John.
panel-
So.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to remember that it was Splut Week. So
Yeah. I think in the second panel of this strip, John is clearly thinking to himself, "Now where could my splut be?" And then the third panel.
Okay, gonna go a little conspira boomer here with this strip and say that maybe John is abusing Garfield right in front of us and we are laughing at it because We're
Yeah.
laughing at his
Notice the
pain.
background of the strip. The first panel, there's that diagonal thing with the dots and the green.
And then the rest of that entire
Yeah,
wall at
yeah.
the end of it is just gray. Like, what's
Well,
going
it
on there?
inverses itself in the third panel. In the second panel, it's in the middle because that's when John is thinking to himself.
Oh my god.
And then, but what is
The same formula applies to every Garfield panel theory.
Even the one above is similar.
Yeah.
But what about the Garfield panels comics that aren't 3-panel? There's sometimes they get those really big ones that are like 6 panels.
Those ones are only on Sundays.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
six-panel
know.
one.
Yeah, the Sunday
Okay.
ones are like bigger and in color.
those are in color too?
I
Well,
think
yes, I know.
made
It's just that
higher
a lot of them
color.
during the week are not in color. But these are always in color, yeah.
Well, you see, he draws most of them in color.
Yeah,
Maybe
I know.
odd.
That's what I mean. I just mean that a lot of newspaper comics during the week are not in color. No, I used to read them before I realized how many boomer jokes most of them had. Like, I used to really like Dilbert, but then it just became a boomer comic, so I read other
Dilbert
things
has
like
always been a boomer
Garfield.
comic.
Yeah,
Dilbert
Dilbert's
is a
always been
horror
a boomer.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't realize it until later, but yeah, it's really based on knowing like 90s level humor, and it's all about office boomer stuff that
I posted a boomer Garfield comic, and
come to think of it, I wouldn't even understand. I don't even think I understood most of it even then.
it's a boomer split comic.
A boomerang split. Wow.
Again, the diagonal shadows.
Oh my
Interesting.
god.
I never thought of
mean?
that.
And in this strip, it's inversed.
So it goes
The
up.
shadow of the
middle,
third panel
down.
from the second strip is the shadow of the first panel in this third strip.
Cinematic
Inverse.
parallels.
Was it supposed to be a shadow or just the paint on the wall, like a design?
It's
I don't
supposed
know.
to be a
It could be
shadow.
either one.
Okay.
But what is it like? Where's the shadow coming from? Like, what is making?
Well, that's
that
why I
shadow?
thought it was just some design on the wall, but it's different each time. So
Yeah,
It's
so
the
maybe
pie.
the pie is making the shadow. I don't think the pie is making that shadow, Mac.
Well, when it hits him, it goes the other way because it's going the other direction.
I can see the shadow coming from the pie that makes sense in the middle piece of the last strip because
The
it's going
boomer pie.
straight, but at the end it doesn't seem to make sense.
Oh, boomerang, splits, boomer,
Splut.
split. No, it says splits.
That's what I said.
That's the thing. We don't know. No one will ever know what the split is. That's the beauty of it. It's just
It's
split.
just the sound it makes. It's a split.
It makes the
Just-
sound that it is.
Yeah, but it's a pie though.
No,
He's
it's
getting hit in the.
splut.
No,
What even flavor of pie is that? Like old cartoon pies are always like purple, but what pie looks like that?
it's grape pie.
Greek pie?
No,
what are you
grape,
fucking-
Grape. not
Oh,
It's
I have
not
never.
grape.
What? There are grape pies.
Maybe. I'm sure there are. Yeah, of course there are. The last one looks
That's a
great. The first
blueberry
one's probably
pie.
chocolate, and the second one's vanilla or cream pie. There you go.
It's splut.
The second one, I think, looks more like key lime.
Or key
Yeah.
lime, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I prefer or cheesecake could be a cheesecake,
Could
but
be.
those are basically the same
Why?
thing.
Mac,
What?
please.
Damn it.
It's
Mac,
not. Split.
Please, it's not a physical thing, Mac.
It is.
Maybe it's the
It's
name
not-
of the pie brand.
It could be. It could
There
be.
you go.
Mhm. You know that could be it. Anyways, now that we've covered the infamous Split Week arc, are there any other arcs that you guys like about it?
One arc I'm particularly proud of is the two panel suicide arc that I did.
Oh
And
god,
I enjoyed
yeah.
that one. That was good.
That was pretty funny, but also kind of dark.
Yeah, I hope that in the future we can try and collaborate more to create other arcs like that.
Yeah, hopefully
Like
we can.
do our own kind of split week, maybe.
Oh, we can't compete with that though. It's such a good strip.
I guess it kind of is. Maybe someone could finally try and like manufacture an ending to like the Liz John arc, because I don't think there's ever been a canonical ending for that. They're just kind of
That's good.
on and off.
We can't do something. The comics are still going, right?
No, In the comics, I think it was 2006, they finally became boyfriend.
Wait, I thought they never got married.
Well, that's a good enough ending. They don't need to get
Yeah, it
married.
takes one step at a time.
Fair enough. Baby steps. Maybe it takes. Also, I love how it's been going. The comic has been going since 1986 or something.
1970s.
Oh,
1970s.
1970s.
Yeah.
I know it's a comic, but like, there's no canon explanation for why no one ages. In fact, Garfield like reverse ages because he was like super. Like Garfield was like super fat in the first version. Now he's kind of.
Oh, he's lost weight.
Yeah, he's lost weight.
They
I'm sure there's
his
a comic
birthday
of him
every
running
year.
on the treadmill or something.
They celebrate his birthday every year in canon.
Fair enough.
So they have to age.
They're both like 80 years old or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he had extensive plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
Cat stick surgery.
Or for all we know, we could be watching John's son at this point, John Jr.
John Jr.
John
Why?
Garfield's son,
Yeah,
John
the Dewey
Jr.
Garfield's son.
John Jr.
What if John just like replaced Garfield like every 15 years or like every 10 years and no
that
one
would be
noticed?
that would be too powerful.
That's why he changes so much because he's a different cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
why his design changes.
He used to be fat and now he's like skinny and he walks around and he's like
Garfield has
jumping
big
off
feet.
Yeah, he always got big feet.
stuff. Big old feet. Look at these feet.
Feet.
Quentin Tarantino would love that
Why isn't there a Quentin Tarantino Garfield movie?
because
in
it would
time.
be like- it would be too much about his.
Does anyone else have favorite strips that they've made or anyone else has made?
One strip
Oh.
I really like is the one Chef. I know Chucky already commented on this earlier, but the one that was submitted by Chef. Although wasn't to our standards, I found that one quite humorous.
What was it? What did it say?
It was a gaudy meme, I believe.
Oh my god, he's
If I can find it.
very topical.
Anyways, I actually think of my favorite strips sometimes aren't necessarily like, you know, the meme Sunday ones. You might think that those are. Some of those are, but I honestly kind of like the classic humor that we use for like the regular pen.
I agree.
The one I made where Garfield burps in John's face, and then he's like, "Excuse you," and then Garfield's like, "You need a new toupee." So John was a toupee confirmed. That's all I
Calling
got
out.
to say about that.
John is bald. That's proof of age. You're right.
I am absolutely in love with Johnny strip where he was like, "I wonder which I'll eat first, the chicken or the eggs." Like,
Oh my
that
gosh.
Yeah,
is
that's a good one.
so much just like an
I think all
actual
the strips are
strip.
great.
Yeah,
See,
to
the
choose
problem
one.
with that one is I pointed out those are John's parents, and they act like they're just different people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If I can post, there's one that I made that I really like. It's proof of my conspira boomer John abuses Garfield theory, but it's the one where he says it's the one where they go clothes shopping and Garfield says he hates his life and John's like, oh, I hate your life too. I'm telling you, it's real. People need
I
to
also
wake
really
up.
like the one by Flash where it's like, I was thinking we could have something other than lasagna tonight.
Oh my, I love that one.
Oh, lasagna it is. And he's
My
Lasagna
favorite
is-
one
killed him.
that I've made is I gotta pull up. It's the one where Garfield's in the sink,
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "I'm looking for lasagna."
No, that one's perfect. That's probably my favorite.
me lasagna.
All of them.
yeah.
Looking for lasagna. What can I do? Give me lasagna.
It's also weird because Garfield meows in that one. I don't really when I think of Garfield, I don't think of him actually meowing, but canonically meows in that one.
Oh yeah, it's rare that he actually does that. Oh yeah, and I also love that one that Korg made. That when you look at it, almost looks like it opens like a freaking horror movie and ends
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
I was
horror
thinking about
movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The house is spooky, and then like it just ends with like clomps. What is the clomp? What is it? Is it like a monster or something? We don't know. Lore. The Garfield, as you all can see from listening to this, the Garfield lore is very complex. It's got a lot of subplots.
very rich and deep. But okay, can John actually understand Garfield? Like actually? Like is that?
I mean, it's implied that he understands him, even
Implied
though
sometimes,
often,
and sometimes it's not.
yeah, sometimes he can. It's very selective.
When I make my strips, I just make it assuming that he does.
You have to understand that John technically can't, but John also basically like he understands what he wants. He's a cat who likes lasagna and wants lasagna. So I just always assumed that John figures that, oh, he wants lasagna.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you though. Lasagna is kind of overrated.
I like.
Bruh.
It.
Lasagna
I don't like the corners, but
In all honesty, I do prefer spaghetti, but lasagna is pretty keen.
they're different foods. So,
spaghetti
Mm,
game.
yeah.
like saying I like hamburgers other than tacos. Like, they're different things. You can't really compare them.
But they're all Italian. That makes them the same, all right? Am I right?
But what if I since Senna is Greek here, don't beat me to death, Senna, but like would that be the same as someone saying I prefer tacos over like gyros or something?
Yeah, exactly. You can't say you prefer
Fair
tacos over gyros. It's not right. They're two
Fair
different
enough.
foods.
Senna's
Fair
just
enough,
slowly
fair enough.
becoming more Greek.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
it's-
like that. I like that.
It's
Right.
Although,
transforming.
in all honesty, though, like I do like chicken, kind of like style gyros. Those are pretty great. I love.
Yeah, I like the lamb
I
gyros
love
are
like
my favorite.
tzatziki and all that.
Yeah,
Now,
Tzatziki's
where
great.
could my Greek heritage be?
Senna.
Senna! Is there anything big else that you guys want to talk about? I feel like we've talked about almost everything involving Garfield.
I could talk for a couple more hours if you want.
I mean, I could, but you know,
more
I've got
I think we all
I've got a night shift in a few. So like, at some point, I have to say, you know, have we talked about everything there's to talk about?
I think
I
we
can say,
have maybe.
All I can say is shout out to Korg and Johnny who weren't here.
Yes,
And
shout out to them.
everyone who submitted strips like Perry and Chef. And I mean, if other people want to like make strips, they're free to do it in the discussion channel like that.
I was
Like,
thinking that the other day. Can submit it.
Oh
and
yes,
maybe
they
we
can.
say
They
it
can.
on the same day.
They can also submit them as like suggestions any way they want to do it.
and that'd be great. So that means I could, if I forget about it, I could do that as an excuse.
Yeah.
yeah, like that one time Rad made one, even though it was just to announce Enigma, like that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty good strip. I'm not gonna lie. Although then
I mean,
again,
it was
it
based
was
on the
also
pipe
using
strip,
it was also using the godly pipe strip template. So how could it not be?
Of course.
Yeah. Also, just make sure to always check the Garfield channel every 1 to 2 days because it will go on for eternity, guaranteed.
Yes, it will be
Correct.
here long after FS is gone. You'll still get notifications in FS Plus, and sure enough, be from Garfield.
Long
We should
after
add
you're
everyone
gone,
every
gone,
time we post a strip.
Yeah. People will be leaving like flies dropping flies. As the saying goes.
Oh god.
Oh my. Alright, is that everything?
I think that's it.
I think we've covered everything. Thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a
Yeah,
really
thanks for
great
having us.
discussion.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a pleasure.
Thank
No problem.
Love you all.
All right. I think that'll be it from us, guys. Thanks for coming along. And thank you, the audience, for listening to us. We should be back in a little while because we've got some. I'm not going to say anything, but I will say there are definitely some big developments coming up, and we'll be very excited to talk about those. I'm sure you will be too, Flash.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks everyone for being here. And that's all from us.